We all prefer things a certain way, like groceries. If you want groceries just how you like them, you gotta try Instacart. They have a new preference picker that lets you pick how ripe or unripe you want your bananas. Shoppers can see your preferences up front, helping guide their choices. Because when it comes to groceries, the details matter. Instacart. Get groceries just how you like.
Tired of your car insurance rate going up even with a clean driving record? You're not alone. That's why there's Jerry, your proactive insurance assistant. Jerry compares rates side by side from over 50 top insurers and helps you switch with ease. Jerry even tracks market rates and alerts you when it's best to shop. No spam calls, no hidden fees. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Switch with confidence. Download the Jerry app or visit jerry.ai/ACAST today.
Hey, this is Paige DeSorbo from Giggly Squad, and today I want to talk to you about Boost Mobile. Quick question, why are we letting our phone bills bully us? Here's a money tip. Stop paying a carrier tax. When you bring your own phone and switch to Boost Mobile's $25 unlimited forever plan, you can unlock up to $600 in savings. That's real-life money, not money trapped in a pricey phone bill. $600 is a trip, a shopping spree, or paying something off. Your money belongs in your life. You get unlimited data, talk, and text for $25 a month with no contracts and no minimum line requirement. Your phone, your rules. Head to boostmobile.com to switch today and unlock the savings you actually deserve. After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience lower speed. Customers pay $25 per month while active on Boost Mobile Unlimited plan. Savings claim based on a January 2026 Boost Mobile survey comparing average annual payments of major carrier customers to 12 months on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan. Visit boostmobile.com for details.
Are you noticing your car insurance rate creep up even without tickets or claims? You're not alone. That's why there's Jerry, your proactive insurance assistant. Jerry handles the legwork by comparing quotes side by side from over 50 top insurers, so you can confidently hit buy. No spam calls, no hidden fees. Jerry even tracks rates and alerts you when it's best to shop. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Don't settle for higher rates. Download the Jerry app or visit jerry.ai/ACAST today.
Hello, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Toby.
And welcome to the Whispering Woods podcast. This episode is all about
Border Patrol.
Yes, so I've got some tales from the border in America, so at Mexico, USA border. I'm really sorry, Toby's got a new dog called Mickey, and it's like a greyhound crossed with, what is it?
A Saluki, an American Bully.
And he is whining downstairs, and it's quite comforting because it sounds like a werewolf. Right. If you'd like to support this podcast, you can do so by visiting patreon.com/The Whispering Woods. I'm going to rush through this so you don't hear the whining so much. We have a number of tiers where you can, for a small fee, you can listen ad-free. And that's all I'm going to say. Are you ready for the story?
Yes, I am.
In late March 1995, a Border Patrol agent fell 120 feet to his death near the Otay Reservoir Dam while chasing a group of border crossers in the darkness. Officially, his fatal plunge was deemed as an accident. But soon after, fellow agents and migrants in that area east of San Diego began to say that something else patrolled those hills at night. They spoke of a headless Border Patrol officer, a figure in uniform carrying his severed head in his hands. According to multiple terrified groups of migrants, this grisly being would suddenly emerge from the desert night, silently motioning for them to stop and stay where they were. Paralysed by fear at the sight of the apparition, They obeyed, remaining in place until real agents arrived to take them into custody. Veteran agents were unnerved by these reports. Some recalled that the fallen agent, Luis Santiago, had been relatively new on the job, only 10 months in the field, when he died under tragic and suspicious circumstances. Rumours swirled that the coyote smuggler guiding the group he was chasing might have pushed him from that ridge. Now it seemed Santiago's restless spirit was back on patrol, haunting the lonely canyons where he lost his life. For a time, sightings of the phantom patrolman continued to circulate. In one incident, a smuggler leading migrants through the same area came running to authorities in panic, claiming an angry border patrol agent had opened fire on him out of nowhere. When the bewildered migrants were shown photos of local agents to identify who had confronted them, they pointed to Luis Santiago's picture on the station memorial wall. After that certain smuggler died in an accident not long after, the ghostly lawman was never seen again, as if his unfinished business had at last been resolved. To this day, Border Patrol law in San Diego remembers Agent Santiago's ghost. Retired agent Rocky Elmore, who worked the same sector, wrote of the ghost of a recently fallen fellow agent appearing atop the cliff from which Santiago fell. A vengeful apparition seemingly guarding the border and avenging his own death. It's said on certain moonless nights in the Otay Mountain wilderness, a lone patrolman can still be seen, standing vigil on the ridge, his shoulders unnaturally hunched as if carrying a weight, his post-mortem mission finally fulfilled, but his memory refusing to fade away. The agents who were there don't easily forget what they have heard from those eyewitnesses. A ghost story, perhaps, yet in the canyons where an agent's blood was spilled, many will tell you something beyond explanation walks the night. Not all of the border's ghosts are veterans. One widely shared tale among agents speaks of a remote patch of the Arizona desert so deadly that even hardened officers fear it. More than one Border Patrol agent swears they've seen an apparition out there, always the same figure, appearing at the edge of sight on the hot sands. They describe a young recruit, borderline teenage, looking eager and fresh in a crisp uniform. He stands as if on duty under the broiling sun, green around the gills, but proud and ready for his first assignment. But this youthful officer shouldn't be there alone, miles from any checkpoint. And when anyone approaches, the silent young man vanishes into the heat mirage without a trace. Agents call that lonely stretch the deadliest part of the desert, the place where countless migrants have succumbed to dehydration and exposure, and where at least one trainee patrol officer is rumoured to have perished decades ago. Whether the ghostly rookie is the spirit of an actual fallen agent, or a collective hallucination brought on by heat and superstition, no one can say for sure. But field reports from that area consistently speak of unexpected movement on the horizon, or a fleeting figure watching from a ridge that dissolves into nothing when pursued. Those who have seen the young phantom describe an atmosphere of profound sadness accompanying him. Others have heard a disembodied voice crackling over their radios near that location, faint and unintelligible, like someone trying to report in from very far away. Whenever this phantom post appears, it seems to herald danger. Veteran agents treat it as a warning. Don't linger. As one patroller bluntly put it, if you see the kid out there, turn around. That patch of desert has claimed enough lives. Whether an omen or restless spirit, doomed to forever roam his last patrol, the eager young man in the empty desert remains one of the border's eeriest legends. Along the vast borderlands west of El Paso, a no-man's land of yucca, thorn scrub, and volcanic rock, shadow figures are said to lurk beyond the beam of the patrol's flashlights. For decades, US Border Patrol agents on midnight shifts have reported tall, thin silhouettes, darker than the night itself. These entities are not quite human. They have no visible faces or features, just inky human-shaped forms that glide silently over the sands. The moment an agent shines a light or advances toward them, the shadows dissolve into the darkness. They leave no footprints in the sand, no heat signature on infrared cameras. The earliest report of these shadow people date back to the late 1970s, near a lonely pass called Anthony Gap. Patrolmen described seeing a human-like shadow standing perfectly still beside a dirt road at midnight. When challenged, it slipped away noiselessly into the brush. One veteran shone his spotlight directly on a silhouette, so dark it looked cut out from the air itself, only to watch it melt into the desert gloom. By the 1990s, sightings grew more frequent and vivid. Two agents creeping along the Rio Grande levee one night thought they'd spotted migrants crouched among the creosote bushes. As they drew weapons and shouted commands in Spanish, two figures rose from the shrubs, impossibly tall and spindly, with vaguely human outlines but no discernible faces. The strangers turned and slid away with uncanny smoothness. When the agents gave chase, they found nothing. In the morning light, not a single footprint marked where those forms had stood. Encounters with these shadowy beings range from distant and unnerving to alarmingly close. Outside Santa Teresa, New Mexico, a canine unit refused to continue down a dark ravine, the dog growling and bristling at something its handler couldn't initially see. Scanning the gulch, the agent finally caught sight of a featureless black shape pacing along a ridge above them. The figure paused as if observing the humans, then tilted its head in an almost curious manner. The moment the agent raised a rifle-mounted light, the shadow collapsed into the rocks and vanished. For the rest of that night, the normally fearless dog whined and hung back, refusing to follow the presence any further. Another officer recounted watching a dark form sprint along a mountainside at an inhuman speed, effortlessly scaling a slope in seconds that would take a person several minutes to climb. Through night vision goggles, he saw nothing there at all. The phantom runner was visible only to the naked eye. Explanations for the shadow people remain elusive. Skeptics among the ranks suggest these sightings might be optical illusions, tricks of moonlight and shadow heightened by exhaustion, isolation, and the mind's tendency to see figures in the dark. Some chalk it up to very real smugglers or migrants skillfully camouflaging themselves in darkness. But many who have witnessed the phenomena dismiss those mundane theories. Migrants, after all, cast normal shadows and leave tracks. These figures do not. And no human, no matter how skilled, can disappear in an instant or move without sound across gravel and brush. Crucially, the shadow people don't register on thermal cameras. On several occasions, agents monitoring live feed surveillance towers have spotted a dark humanoid form drifting across rocky terrain. Yet the infrared shows nothing giving off heat at that spot. Ground units dispatched to the location inevitably find the area empty. The law of the borderlands hints at such entities long before modern sightings. Indigenous Apache and Tohono O'odham stories speak of spirits that wander the desert hills, watching travellers from afar. Early Spanish settlers wrote of sombras caminantes, walking shadows that seem to move of their own accord between the cacti. Are today's shadow people simply the old desert spirits, but by a new name? All an agent can say is that when you're alone out there at 3 a.m, with only the stars and coyotes for company, it sometimes feels like something else is also watching, something that retreats as soon as you try to confirm it's real. The border is full of transient strangers. Most are human, some are not. The shadow people remain, as one supervisor put it, a mystery we're trained to ignore until the day one stands right in front of you. The US-Mexico borderlands carry legends older than the Border Patrol. One tale is that of La Llorona, the Weeping Woman. In Mexican folklore, she is the tragic ghost of a mother who drowned her own children and now wanders riverbanks at night, crying and wailing in eternal remorse. Many nights on duty, agents walking the banks of the Rio Grande have heard strange noises, a distant moaning, or an eerie cry that carries over the water. In the stillness of midnight, even a seasoned officer's mind can drift to the story of La Llorona, wondering if the faint sobs on the wind might be more than just animal or the rustling of reeds. One calm moonlit night in February 1996 near Brownsville, Texas, two agents heard just such a haunting wail. The river was swollen with floodwaters from days of torrential rain, and few people were out. Suddenly, the splashing sound echoed from the black water, followed by a muffled cry and a shriek. Agent Ray, pausing on the muddy trail, felt a chill as the hair on his neck stood up. Jokingly, and a bit nervously, he mentioned La Llorona to his partner, recalling how she's often described as a tall woman with long flowing hair, all in white, searching the waters for her lost children. But the next piercing scream was unmistakably human. "Help me, my child." Realizing this was no phantom, the agents burst through the cane brush with their flashlights. In the raging Rio Grande, a desperate mother was being swept downstream, struggling to keep herself and her little boy above water. With no hesitation, the partners shed their heavy gear and dove in. In the chaos of churning currents and darkness, they managed to grab the flailing child and drag him to shore, then hauled the exhausted mother out behind him. Both were shivering, choking on river water, but alive. The agents wrapped them in blankets and got them warm inside a patrol Bronco. Only after the adrenaline wore off did Agent Ray reflect on what had happened. Moments before the rescue, his mind had conjured a centuries-old ghost story from the sound of an animal splash. A nutria river rat thrashing its tail, which made an uncanny moan-like sound. He had almost spooked himself with the La Llorona legend, yet the real danger was present and nearly overlooked. A young mother and her son, cheated by a smuggler and left to drown in the swirling dark waters. The river that night did have a weeping woman, not an apparition in white, but a flesh and blood migrant, crying in terror for her child. Her sobs, thankfully, were heard by agents in time. Around the Brownsville station, they still talk about that save. Some wryly call it La Llorona story, a case of a legend coming to life in an unexpected way. Strange sights are not limited to the ground out here. Unidentified lights and aircraft have also startled the men and women guarding America's borders. In recent years, dozens of Border Patrol and Customs agents have reported inexplicable things in skies, objects performing maneuvers that defy any known plane or drone. We have guys out there 24/7 with eyes on the sky, and they see other stuff, admits Robert Bob Thompson, a recently retired Department of Homeland Security agent who served in the border region. According to Thompson, encounters with unidentified aerial phenomena along the border are surprisingly frequent, yet they've long been kept quiet, much like Air Force pilots training over the deserts. Border Patrol pilots and surveillance operators have observed fast-moving craft with no transponders, no wings, and no easy explanation. Some of these incidents have been captured on the agency's own video systems. One example, only revealed to the public in the last couple of years, is a piece of footage now nicknamed the Rubber Duck video. In that DHS surveillance video, an aircraft's infrared camera tracks a misshapen airborne object cruising steadily across the sky near the US-Mexico border. The object has no clear wings or tail. It doesn't fly like a conventional plane or helicopter. Instead, it maintains a smooth, steady speed and altitude, unconcerned with the border below. Analysts who reviewed the footage noted the object did not behave like a balloon or any known civilian drone. It became one more entry in the growing list of unexplained intruders that regularly violate the airspace above the frontier. In another incident shared by Thompson, Border Patrol helicopter pilots encountered a trio of unknown craft zipping through the sky in formation. The pilots were baffled. These objects executed turns and accelerations far beyond the capabilities of any jet they knew. Video from an Apache gunship's thermal camera showed 3 bright dots dancing in a loose triangle, then darting off at incredible speed. One pilot watching exclaimed on the recording, "Wow, are those 3 really fast-moving jets up there?" Only to realise moments later that whatever they were tracking did not match any military or commercial aircraft profile. Experts who later analysed the video frame by frame calculated the object's turning rate to be dozens of times greater than a fighter jet's, an acceleration no human pilot could survive. These aerial encounters have compelled Border Patrol officials to create new reporting protocols, mirroring the military's recent efforts to catalogue UAP sightings. Agents have quietly been encouraged to log any odd things they see in the sky. Over the years, they've tallied glowing orbs that hover and then shoot off over the desert, silent triangles that cruise above remote canyons at low altitude, and other airborne mysteries. many agents remain tight-lipped, fearing ridicule or career repercussions if they speak openly. But as one CBP pilot noted, "We know what aircraft look like, and some of this stuff, it's not from any fleet we recognise." Even the routine drone surveillance feeds occasionally pick up anomalies. Operators have tracked unknown lights crossing from Mexico, only to disappear over US soil, moving too fast for any ultralight smuggler craft. Some agents insist that something alive stalks the remote mountain passes, something neither human nor any known beast. Over the years, stories have emerged of a large ape-like creature roaming the rugged stretches of the southwest border. Rocky Elmore, the retired agent who recorded many paranormal incidents in the Otay Mountain area, included one particularly unnerving account in his memoirs. While on foot patrol in a secluded canyon east of San Diego, Elmore and a fellow agent had an encounter that left them shaken. A pair of glowing eyes watched them from atop a ridgeline, at a height far too tall for any cougar or known animal. The figure attached to those eyes gave a low, guttural grunt, then stepped away on two legs into the darkness before they could get a closer look. It left behind enormous footprints in the dust. In Elmore's words, they had come face to face with smugglers, mountain lions, ghosts, and even a Sasquatch in this isolated no man's land. Bigfoot-like sightings have dotted border law from California to Texas. Agents at remote outposts have told stories of strange howls echoing in the desert night, unlike the yips of coyotes or the scream of a mountain lion. On at least one occasion, a night vision scope operator tracking a group of migrants observed a massive bipedal silhouette parallel the humans from a distance, seemingly herding or stalking them before veering off into the hills. When the group was intercepted, they were hysterical, babbling about a Diablo that had been following them in the dark. In southern New Mexico, several agents reported finding footprints in a sandy arroyo that were far larger than a man's bare foot, with a long stride between them. They initially assumed it was a prank until a canine unit refused to follow the trail. The dogs whined and bristled, reacting much as they would to the scent of a larger predator. But no mountain lion leaves human-like prints 15 inches long. One retired Border Patrol officer described an incident from the early 2000s near Arizona's Babaquivara Peak. A sensor had tripped, indicating movement in a rugged area thought to be a smuggling route. Agents arrived expecting to round up a group of migrants, but instead they heard piercing ape-like screams in the mesquite thicket that sent a jolt of fear through them. Branches snapped loudly as something huge barreled away before them, but they never caught sight of it. Only a musky wild animal odour hung in the air. Afterwards, the agents half-jokingly labelled the incident a Bigfoot run-in, but their jokes were uneasy. Each man knew that whatever had crashed off into that brush on 2 feet was no joke at all. It moved too fast and stayed out of flashlight range, as if intelligently evading them. These accounts have rarely been made public. Officially, the agency does not acknowledge any unknown primates on the border. The inhospitable border wilderness has canyons and mountains where a creature could conceivably hide. And with all the focus on human threats, an uncatalogued species, might go unnoticed except in fleeting encounters. In his book, Rocky Elmore stops short of claiming absolute belief, but he plainly states that some agents have encountered a Sasquatch out there. The fact that this claim sits alongside verifiable stories of ghosts and deadly pursuits lends it a strange credibility among those who know the author's character. The border has room enough for every kind of nightmare, from ghosts to cryptids.
We all prefer things a certain way, like groceries. If you want groceries just how you like them, you gotta try Instacart. They have a new preference picker that lets you pick how ripe or unripe you want your bananas. Shoppers can see your preferences up front, helping guide their choices. Because when it comes to groceries, the details matter. Instacart. Get groceries just how you like.
You know what's wild? Most people are still overpaying for car insurance just because it's a pain to switch. That's why there's Jerry. Jerry's the only app that compares rates from over 50 insurers in minutes and helps you switch fast with no spam calls or hidden fees. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Before you renew your car insurance policy, do yourself a favor. Download the Jerry app or head to jerry.ai/ACAST.
I love all these stories. In my mind's eye, I don't know why I see lots of sand. I don't know if that's what the border's like, but that's what I see.
Pretty sure it is.
Yeah, and I see darkness, lots of stars.
Are we talking about Mexico?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, and parts of it, I'm sure. But anyway, that's what I'm seeing, and tufts of grass and lots of spooky shadows coming in and out, and terrifying creatures that hide in the dark. I mean, it's bad. It must be bad enough trying to cross over and scary enough, let alone with paranormal things going on as well out there.
Yeah.
To have got that far and to stop and say Diablo, obviously that means devil, and stop and not go any further, then you must be terrified.
Yeah.
You know?
Trust.
Because you've spent money.
All the stories.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah. You've spent all that money. It's like when people cross here on the boats and then they just suddenly not go through with it because so it must be something really, really scary.
Yeah. Well, that's the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed and we'll catch up with you again soon.
We will indeed. I will catch up with you on Thursday for the Reddit and listener story episode. And then I'll be back again on Sunday for the After Dark. Take care, everyone.
Goodbye.
Hey, this is Paige DeSorbo from Giggly Squad, and today I want to talk to you about Boost Mobile. Quick question, why are we letting our phone bills bully us? Here's a money tip. Stop paying a carrier tax. When you bring your own phone and switch to Boost Mobile's $25 unlimited forever plan, you can unlock up to $600 in savings. That's real-life money, not money trapped in a pricey phone bill. $600 is a trip, a shopping spree, or paying something off. Your money belongs in your life. You get unlimited data, talk, and text for $25 a month with no contracts and no minimum line requirement. Your phone, your rules. Head to boostmobile.com to switch today and unlock the savings you actually deserve. After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience lower speed. Customers pay $25 per month while active on Boost Mobile Unlimited plan. Savings claim based on a January 2026 Boost Mobile survey comparing average annual payments of major carrier customers to 12 months on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan. Visit boostmobile.com for details.
The stories told on the Whispering Woods are inspired by historical records, witness reports, and local folklore. While every effort is made to research and represent events accurately, some details, names, and locations may differ from official accounts or have been changed out of respect for those involved. These episodes are created for storytelling and entertainment purposes. and should not be considered definitive fact or investigative journalism.